The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. Today's lesson includes 6 characters, all containing a crossroads, which in turn represents the businesses clustered around it and movement in general. Our first character is the auricle bone pictogram of a crossroads, maintained by the ruling authorities to facilitate transportation and troop movements. This character is pronounced one of 2 ways. Second tone xíng, xíng, referring to movement, and second tone háng, háng, meaning the streets themselves, the merchants and the various occupations lining them. It's obviously a split sound character. Our first example is a 4-character fixed idiom, or 成语, indicating that a person is being hypocritical because their words do not match their actions. Literally, words and deeds are not as one. 言行不一. It can just as well describe people as the foreign relations of a specific country. The easiest and possibly most common use of xíng is the negative, 不行, to refuse a request or suggestion. Translated literally, it's no go. Here's a snippet of conversation. 我可以不可以去? 不行, 你看家. May I go? No. You stay home and look after the house. Along the same lines of giving permission is the expression 可行, meaning feasible or doable, and its abstract noun 可行性, feasibility. 流行 is the phrase for fashionable, current, in vogue. But if referring to a contagious disease, it means prevalent. Here's an example for fashionable. 打电话寄信已不流行了. Just call them. Sending a letter is so old-fashioned. Nobody uses snail mail these days. Now we move on to the second pronunciation, háng, referring to the merchants and the various occupations found along streets, which includes the know-how they possess. 行动电话, 她是行家. She's an expert in anything cell phone related. Notice both pronunciations, 行 in 行动, meaning mobile, and háng in 行家, translating as occupation plus 家, indicating a specialist of some sort. If 行家 is an expert, then a person can be either inside or outside that field of knowledge, which gives us the next 2 examples. 电脑他在行, 你去问他. He's an expert in computers. Go ask him. 在行 is an adjective for a person inside the trade. 不要问我, 我完全外行. Don't ask me, I don't know the first thing about it. 外行 is an adjective for someone outside the profession. Here I have arranged the various connotations of this character with its 2 pronunciations and uses in a possible sense development. The second character in today's lesson takes the crossroads radical and pairs it with the double earth phonetic, which produces a character pronounced first tone, 街, 街, meaning a city street. Obviously, this is a phonosemantic compound character with a double earth, 圭, serving as the phonetic for 接. This pronunciation is unsurprising, as we've seen before that hard G, g, can change to a soft G, j, even in English, such as in the word gorgeous. In the southern Chinese dialects, the hard G of gui is retained in the character for street, gai in Cantonese and gei in Taiwanese, but jie in Mandarin. Our first sentence includes the phrase for Main Street and another use of xíng, this time referring to a person on foot or a pedestrian. 在大街上，行人不多. There weren't many pedestrians on the main street. 5个男生在街上玩耍. 5 boys were playing in the street. This particular example doesn't specify where the boys were playing, in the middle of the road or on the sidewalk. As I've explained before, we have a rather limited choice of vocabulary. Exactly 201 characters to be precise. So our examples will become less and less ambiguous as time goes on. 街上 means in or on the street, with 上 used as a preposition. But if we reverse the order and say 上街, 上 becomes a verb meaning to take to the streets, such as for a demonstration, or simply to go shopping. 我们少出门上街. We rarely leave the house to go shopping. Today's third character combines 3 elements: the left half of crossroads, the top half of zhi, meaning to go forward from lesson 5, and wang, the king from lesson 21, serving as the phonetic. This character is pronounced third tone, wang, wang, and also means to go forward, like its component, zhi. Despite having been reduced by 1/2, the crossroads radical still means the same, emphasizing movement. Here's an easy example meaning to go in a specified direction. 往上看闪亮的星星. Look at the stars shining above. 往上看 means simply to look up. Another example. 下大雨时，人往高地去. During heavy rains, people head for higher ground. The next sentence highlights the meaning of in the past. 生意不如以往. Business isn't as good as it used to be. The phrase 以往 can be rendered as in the past, formerly, or before. 以, you will recall from lesson 14, means to use or take. So 以往 literally means to take the past as a comparison with the present. Another common phrase is the character wang doubled, wang wang, meaning often or frequently, literally twice in the past. Also notice that wang wang always refers to the past and present, never to the future. 能力高的人手往往不好找. Highly qualified workers are frequently hard to find. From past experience, I've learned that it's not going to be easy to find highly qualified people. Another sentence. 他个性不好，往往找人吵. He has a perverse streak, often looking to argue. In other words, we've had this unpleasant experience with him before. Here's a possible sense development for wang. Today's fourth and most useful character combines the left portion of the crossroads radical, two people, one closely following the other, and the foot radical. This character is pronounced second tone, 从, 从. In some rare expressions, it's pronounced first tone, 从, 从. But we won't bother with the first tone variant today. This character started out simply meaning to follow, but now has many derivative concepts. Here are three examples meaning go from or by way of. 从入口出去, leave by way of the entrance, instead of the usual exit. 水是从水池流失的. The water leaked out of the pond. 他从泰国回日本去了. He returned to Japan from Thailand. The next two examples refer to time beginning in the past and continuing up to the present. 她从小怕生. She has been afraid of strangers ever since she was a child. 我从不相信有外星人. I've never believed there were space aliens. Now we have a 成语, or four-character fixed idiom. 力不从心. Literally, strength doesn't follow the heart, which can be rendered many ways in English, such as, it's beyond my capacity, it's not in my power, it's beyond my depth, it's too much for me, etc. Here are three examples. 东西太重, 我力不从心. The thing's too heavy to move. I just don't have the strength. 我力不从心, 需要找人手. We need to take on more staff. This is more than I can handle alone. 我日语想弄好, 可是力不从心. I really wanted to improve my Japanese, but it was too hard. I opened the Japanese grammar book and realized I just wasn't up to the task. And now here's another set idiom. 何去何从. Literally, where to go, where to start, but perhaps better expressed in English as not know which way to turn, at a loss what to do, at my wit's end, be of two minds. And here are three sentences. 我要何去何从, 如何才好? I'm at my wit's end. How should I handle this? 他没有能力, 要何去何从? He's totally unqualified for the job. How's he going to manage? 人不生子, 国家要何去何从? Nobody's having kids. What's the country going to do in the future? Increase immigration? Raise taxes to pay for programs? What exactly can be done? Here I've provided a possible sense progression for 从 to help fix these various uses in your memory. The fifth character in this lesson is a return to the full form of a crossroads with a phonetic inserted. It's pronounced fourth tone, 树, 树. The purple phonetic is a pictogram of a sorghum plant, heavy with greens. Sorghum, by the way, is the grain used to make gaoliang liquor, a fiery alcohol popular in northern China, but also produced on Jinmen Island, near Taiwan. This character originally meant a small street. And, just as in English, way the simple word for a road came to mean a method, a means, a way to achieve some goal. As in, what's the best way to do it? Chinese 术 followed a similar trajectory, and now 术 means a way, a method, a skill, a special ability to arrive at a desired result. In Chinese, 手术 refers to a surgeon's skillful hands that can perform delicate operations, and 动手术 means to undergo surgery, as in this sentence. 他的腰需要动手术. He needs an operation on his lower back. 术语 means technical terminology, literally special skill language, as in this next slide. 电脑术语 computer jargon. And here's this example for astrology. 你相不相信占星术? Do you believe in astrology? Our sixth and final character is the complete crossroads radical with the phonetic wei that we saw in lesson 25 inserted. Originally, there was a little man carrying a halberd in the center, acting as a guard. This character is pronounced fourth tone, wei, wei, and as a verb means to guard, protect, or defend, and as a noun translates as a guard or a gatekeeper. A common noun for hygiene, sanitation, or its adjective hygienic, sanitary is 卫生, literally protecting life. 生水不卫生. Unboiled water isn't sanitary. Notice the two meanings of 生, the first referring to raw water, and the second meaning birth and life itself. These next two examples are nouns referring to guards. 门卫看了我好久才开门. The door guard scrutinized me before opening the gate. 正门有两个高大的守卫. There were two big guards posted at the main door. You will recall the character 守 in lesson 13 also means to defend, protect, and hold firmly. And our final example is 卫星, the Chinese word for a satellite, literally a circling, protecting star. 中国有多少个卫星? How many satellites does China have? Here is our color chart with today's 6 characters. 行 or háng, 接 往, 树 从, and 卫. So what's the takeaway from today's lesson? 1. The character for our crossroads has 2 pronunciations. 行, referring to movements, actions, and deeds, and háng, meaning a street and the merchants and occupations on either side of it. 2. The idiom 言行不一 describes a person who says one thing but does another. 3. 不行 is one way to turn down a request or suggestion, while 可行 refers to whether or not a plan or suggestion is feasible or doable. 流行, literally flowing all around, describes a fashion that's in vogue or a disease prevalent among the population. 4. The crossroads character, pronounced háng, refers to business people and others engaged in occupations along city streets, including any special skills or knowledge they may have. A háng jia is an expert, and anyone possessing such knowledge is said to be zai háng, while anyone who's outside that area of expertise is said to be wai háng. 5. The character for a street is jie. Jie shang means in or on the street. Shang jie is the verb meaning to demonstrate in the streets or simply to go shopping, depending on the context. 6. The character meaning to go toward a destination is wang. Any character you find with king as the phonetic is actually this contraction of zhi plus wang and means forward movement. It will be unrelated to the meaning of a king. 7. Wang means to go forward, but with emphasis on the starting point, which explains why this character refers to the past and not the future. Yi wang means formerly, and wang wang means frequently, based on past experience. 8. The character cong began as one person following on the heels of another, but later added one half of the crossroads radical and a foot to stress the idea of movement. Cong generally translates as from or out of in English, but you need to remember the basic idea is to follow upon something else. So if you hear a confusing phrase such as it enters the mouth, 它从口入, it actually means it follows a pathway into the mouth, or in better English, it enters by way of the mouth. 9. The fixed idiom 力不从心 means something is beyond my capacity. It's too much for me to handle. I'm not up to the job. 10. Another fixed idiom is the question 何去何从, meaning not to know which way to turn, unable to figure out what to do. 11. By inserting a sorghum plant as phonetic inside the crossroads radical, we have the character shu, once meaning a small city street, but the sense of roadway or pathway extended to simply a method, a skill, a way to achieve a specific result. 手术, or manual skill, is now one term for surgery, and 动手术 means to undergo a surgical operation. 12. The phonetic wei, inserted inside the crossroads, creates the character wei, meaning to guard, protect, defend, or the guards themselves. Protecting life is the direct translation of 卫生, meaning hygiene or sanitation. 门卫 and 守卫 are terms referring to guards and gatekeepers. 13. A circling, protecting star is a direct translation of 卫星, the Chinese word for a satellite. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.